Is that what you said?
No, no, I did not say that.
Who said it?
Somebody behind me said that.
Was it me? Was it you?
No.
You sure?
If it was me, I'd admit it, buddy.
Was it you or not?
If it was me, I'd admit it.
What'd you say then?
Everybody in this situation acted inappropriately. We've received dozens of emails and comments asking us for our opinion of the encounter with Jagmeet and some people that were filming him and hurling insults. One of the questions that is top of mind for people was, is this staged? As some people seem to think that this happened in a restricted area. Well, because we were just there in that exact same spot, we wanted to clear things up and give our take on the whole situation.
Excuse my cold and the voice that comes with it, but let's take a look.
Will you vote a non-confidence tonight if it came up?
Corrupted bastard. Want to say something?
What?
Want to say something?
Did you say nothing?
Who said that? You got something to say?
I didn't say corrupted bastard, but I said...
Is that what you said?
No, no, I did not say
Who said
that.
it? Who said it?
Somebody behind me said that.
Was it me?
Was it you?
No.
You sure?
If it was me, I'd admit it, buddy.
Was it you or not?
If it was me, I'd admit it.
What'd you say then?
I didn't say nothing. It wasn't me. It was a gentleman behind me, I guess.
Who is it then? Point it out.
I have no idea who it was, buddy. My word.
You sure it's not you?
No, 100%.
You're a coward. You're not gonna say it to my face. That's what's up.
Say what?
You didn't.
If I said something like that to you, I'd admit it.
All right.
Now, I asked you if a confidence vote came up today.
With that aggression, is that why you're choosing war with Russia?
Well, you talk about the corrupted bastard comment, but you won't...
Is that why you won't go for peace?
Wow. Welcome to Canada, guys.
All right, so that's the full video. Now, before we get to what we think about Jagmeet and what he said and
how he
what
behaved,
the other people said, let's just clear a few things up. So, the first question that we've had is, is this staged? And,
probably not.
Yeah, my guess is most likely not. And people will then say, well, they're in an area that is restricted. Is it? Is it though?
No, because we were walking around there the other day.
Yeah. Now, let's take a look at why people may think it's restricted. So, for those that haven't been on Parliament Hill or haven't been on Parliament Hill over the last 7 years or so, there's been a lot of changes, and there continues to be a lot of changes. So what are we talking about? Well, let's take a look. So this is what you see if you go to Google Maps and you go to the satellite view. Now, this looks pretty barren at this point.
Yeah, it looks like a hot mess.
Yeah. So the problem is even though at the bottom of Google it'll say 2024, that is not when this picture was taken. This picture was taken while they were in the midst of building phase 1 of the visitor center for the new reconstructed and restored Parliament. So this is the area where the video with Jagmeet actually took place, but not how it's not how you see it. Let's take a look at what it will look like in the future.
So you see center block in the middle with the library behind. There's a peace tower up front. And West Block is currently on the right-hand side. Right behind West Block is where this incident with Jagmeet occurred. Now it's open in the middle, but now it's been covered and it's the new House of Commons while the center block is under construction.
So what they're showing now is the kind of, patio area right in front of the visitor center. That's where you actually enter to enter the premises. And, through there are the different floors and chambers that you actually go through for security screening, get your passes, and then they allow you into Parliament.
Yeah, right now the whole visitor center is underground and it's connected to the West Block.
And this is, how, some of the different spots where they're actually building, actually end up looking like. And this reverse angle is right behind the statue of Queen Victoria. Now, what they don't show on here is there's actually a public washroom, and I'm not sure if that was added after the initial plans were done, but it was added nonetheless, and we actually took our son into it. So
yeah, because behind center block is all still open. It's an open path, and they have various artifacts. Like there's the bell from the original tower of Parliament before everything burned down, and there's various statues and plaques, and you can just walk the path and read the different parts of our Canadian history. So they have a washroom outside as well, which you can see in the Jagmeet video. There's an arch and then there's two brown doors. That's the bathroom. And that's the external bathroom, because otherwise you'd have to go into the visitor center and through security even to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
So that's why there is an external bathroom there.
And we'll get back to the Jagmeet video in a second. So this is a much more accurate view of what Parliament looks like today. So you can see they've actually dug way down below Parliament. So part of what it looks like they're doing is restoring the foundations. And this is going to take a heck of a long time, because in trying to restore the foundation of an existing building while keeping it standing is obviously a tricky process.
Yeah, I think Dean Allison was the one who told us that they've dug down 2 stories.
And you can see on the left of that big hole, you can see that archway there. That is the visitor center. And then in the far left over there where we zoom in, that is where the washroom is. That is where the statue of Queen Victoria is. And that is where the beginning of the Jagmeet video actually starts. Here's a rotated angle where you can now much clearly see the north side of West Block, which is where Jagmeet was walking in front of, in between that and the washroom. And you can see the road there and where the 2 gentlemen were actually following him in. And then here's a reverse angle so you can see where Jagmeet was originally walking toward, and then he ends up walking around West Block and down that road there.
Yeah, so Jagmeet was walking on the left side of the building that's in front. That's West Block. That's where the House of Commons is. And then the restricted area is the area that's closest to the bottom of the screen, where he hadn't reached that area yet. You can see in the video, there's some temporary fences with like do not enter signs, and the protesters actually stopped before those barricades. But then afterwards, when, after the confrontation, when they had tried to cross them, that's when the parliamentary police had stopped them and told them, no, you can't come past this point.
So let's now look at that video with a little bit different frame of reference now that we know all of this. So here he is walking.
You can clearly see the barriers with the signs that say do not enter. And you can see the 2 cruisers for the parliamentary police on the other side of those barriers.
Right. And as he walks, you will be able to clearly see the public washroom on the right, and you can see that by the arch. Okay? So now Jagmeet is about to enter the restricted area, as you can see, passing those 2 barricades, and the parliamentary police services are just keeping their distance here. And this is where the 2 gentlemen stop, because they're not allowed to move any further. And you actually saw the parliamentary police take a couple of steps forward just to kind of make sure what's going on. He radios that something's might be happening, may not need help, but he's just radioing his team just in case. Jagmeet's talking to the individual, and the other guy's filming him. The other policeman takes a little bit step further, just in case there's anything, because they see this escalating just a bit. And right in behind them, that is the door to the public washroom. Men's are on the right, women are on the left. And I know that because I took my son in there. So, so that is the layout of this encounter. And then they finish talking. Jagmeet walks away, and then you can see him walking further into that restricted area, and that's where, you know, the MP's cars are waiting for them to take them away, or it's possible he may be actually entering West Block to get ready for question period, or who knows who he might be meeting in there.
Yeah, he could be walking on foot to his office, because not all the MPs have offices that are on Parliament Hill. In fact, I don't know that any of them do anymore. Some are in the Valor building, some are in the Justice building, which are down the street. There's also committee rooms that are not on Parliament Hill, like they're further down Wellington Street. Another thing that we should note is that right at the end of that video, you can see the gentleman who was wearing the blue striped shirt try to step past that barrier, and that's when the parliamentary police had stopped him.
So, so was it a restricted area where this began? No. Was it a restricted area where it ended? Yes.
That's why the parliamentary police stopped the protesters, because they were not permitted to enter that area. We were actually waiting to meet Dean Allison one morning, and I was kind of confused. I wasn't sure where to go, because he had told us to meet him in the restricted area, and I had tried to cross that barrier, and they said, no, you can't cross here. Just wait for him to come to you. So we're like, oh, okay, whatever.
Yeah, and there were barricades on the other side of that as well. So we were on the south side of West Block, towards where Wellington actually crosses in front of Parliament there. So same deal, you know, police cruisers on both sides, just to make sure that only authorized people are able to approach West Block, you know, that are supposed to be there.
Well, and I imagine it's so that you cannot enter the building without having to go through security. They trust the MPs enough to let them through without doing security, but all public personnel have to go through the security check that's inside the visitor center.
So let's watch it one more time. Now we're going to evaluate the interactions of everybody involved, and then give our take on it.
Would you vote a non-confidence tonight if it came up?
Corrupted bastard.
So we're going to stop it here first. Based on the acoustics of what we can hear, the positioning of the gentleman there, everything that I know about audio, which admittedly I don't know everything, as the channel would illustrate, to me, the person who said the insult definitely sounds like it's in front of the person who is taking the video that we are watching from, in terms of that vantage point. Now, that being the case, it definitely sounds like it's a similar voice to the person that Jagmeet ends up approaching, which is the gentleman in the Maple Leafs hat, dressed in the dark colored shirt and shorts. So to me, that's the guy who said this. It didn't come from behind him. Is it possible there's another gentleman standing to the left that's out of frame that said it? Sure.
There's a lot of things that are possible, because we're only seeing it from one angle and one very limited view.
And that's the most important thing that you need to take into account when watching any type of video, not just this one, any type of video that shows a volatile interaction, because you don't necessarily know what happened 5 minutes before, 5 minutes after.
To the left, to the right, up, down.
You just know what happened in front.
Right.
During the time that the video was taken. But based on, you know, the sound of the person's voice, it sounds like this guy. I can't definitively say that it's this guy, but it sounds like him. Now, should he have called him a corrupted bastard? You know, that's up for debate. Do I understand why he did? Absolutely. Yeah. I think Canadians all over the place understand, you know, why he said that. And I'm sure many Canadians would agree that he's a corrupted bastard. But
I think this is one of those situations where everybody involved was wrong.
I think
whoever it was that hurled that insult was wrong to do it. I understand why. Like, we are, as Canadians, I think we're all at our wits' end with this government. And Jagmeet Singh has been prolonging our suffering by allowing this Liberal government to continue, because he's been voting confidence in them, when clearly Canadians have no confidence in this government. But this is where I say things like, don't insult the MPs, don't call them names, don't swear at them, and certainly don't threaten them. We're all frustrated, but we can all express our feelings in a very articulate and constructive way, because honestly, there's too much anger, and that's not going to get things done. Sometimes it feels good, but it doesn't accomplish things. And that's what we need as Canadians to fix all of this. We need to accomplish things.
Well, and the problem is, as soon as you use an insult, you've lost any, I would say, high ground you have. And all that's going to do is provoke a negative response. Now, you can say, you know, you can almost say something that's very similar, but in a very articulate way, by not name calling, in terms of, you know, what you've done to this country and, you know, the effects of your policies. That's something that is definitely in, you know, in fair play. But anyway, and we are no fans of Jagmeet. If you've watched this channel, if you've watched our Twitter posts, you absolutely know that. We rag on him, you know,
a lot.
These days, more than Trudeau. So if you can believe that. But we're just advising everybody, just, you know, think twice. You know, we were pretty close to some of the Liberal MPs when we were in the House, and boy, I wanted to say something.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want my son to see me get handcuffed and, you know, you're out of the building.
Yeah.
So you have to choose your battles. Now, the one point I want to make is I don't know, and I'm actually betting that this gentleman was not expecting any sort of response. And I think that's also a problem when we live in an age where we can type something on the internet and, you know, you're safe behind a computer screen. What we're seeing more and more is that no filter type of communicating is making its way into the real world, and that's where things go south very, very quick. So as much as we agree, and all of us probably agree, that Jagmeet is corrupt and he is a terror on this country because of how he is governing the NDP party, nobody should be surprised that he didn't like what he heard. Nobody would like that. So we have to look at that objectively. So I don't think this guy was expecting a response. Let's keep going.
You want to say something? What? You want to say something?
Hello?
You say nothing? Who said that? You got something to say?
I didn't say corrupted bastard, but I
Is that what you said?
No, I did not say
Who said
that.
it? Who said it?
Somebody behind me said that.
Was it me? Was it you? No. You sure?
So Jagmeet now confronts the guy that he thought said it. And at this point, you can argue, you can debate, you know, if this is the guy who said it, then he should own up to it, whatever. Again, we don't know if he's the guy who said it. Doesn't really matter at this case. Now, Jagmeet is in the wrong.
Like I said, everybody in this situation, except, you know, the bystanders and maybe the employees, acted inappropriately.
Yeah.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Well, and again, I understand why Jagmeet is reacting this way. He's had a horrible couple of weeks. I guarantee you his head cold was starting, because we hear it today, and he was probably feeling just really rotten, and this sent him over the edge. So I understand why he reacted that way. However, as a politician, welcome to being insulted on a day-to-day basis.
But he's not just a politician. He's a leader.
Yeah, he's
right?
He's a political party leader.
Yeah, as a leader, you have to set the example.
100%.
You have to let all that garbage just roll off your back, like water off a duck's back. Like, you cannot engage.
Otherwise, you shouldn't be doing it. One of the things that Tanya and I had to learn very, very quickly when doing a YouTube channel is you're going to get all types of feedback. You're going to get, you know, just regular comments on a video. You're going to get regular emails. You're going to get emails telling you what a great job you're doing. And you're going to get emails telling you that you're the worst thing, you know, on the planet. And, you know, we needed to learn to just let these things roll off our back. If you don't, it will consume you and it will lead to bad things. So as the leader of a political party, Tanya is absolutely right. If he was going to interact with this gentleman, what he should have done is walked back and in a calm way say, what do you think that I've done is corrupt? And then challenge him on the point, challenge him on the argument. And if the gentleman can't articulate his argument, then, then there's not really a discussion to be had, and Jagmeet can state his case as to why he thinks he's doing a good job from Canada, and then shake the guy's hand and then walk away. That's probably what should have happened.
And I mean, we've seen Pierre in person handle a situation like this when we were door knocking in Ancaster. And I think you and I were speaking with Pierre, and a gentleman had kind of come across the park and was yelling something about Stelco. And Pierre was like, well, that wasn't us. Like, that wasn't us. And he just kind of kept repeating, like, that wasn't us, because it wasn't them. And eventually the guy kind of just gave up and walked off.
Well, he ended up making some sort of remark that you're all the same or something like that. And then Pierre made a joke like, oh, now you've really insulted me saying that I'm the same as Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh.
Right, but he diffused the situation. He didn't get aggressive and, like, go after the guy. That's completely inappropriate.
Yeah, he actually attempted to converse on the point that the guy was raising, and then when it was obvious the guy was just going to walk off and he kind of made a passing comment, Pierre didn't insult the guy. He just turned what he said into a joke. And that is how you need to handle these things. And if you can't do it, that you're not up for the job, you shouldn't be a party leader. So and then Jagmeet walks off and leaves. So the problem is the way Jagmeet comes off is he comes off as somebody who's trying to physically intimidate somebody. Not a good thing. Not a good look for a politician.
No, not a good look for the leader of a federal party.
He was asked about it later, and he said, well, I don't like bullying. Well, you became a bully as well.
Right.
So your response to a bully is to out-bully him. So that's not the right way to approach this. So Jagmeet was wrong. The guy who said it was wrong, whomever he is. And hopefully both of them will reflect on this and, maybe think about it in a different way. So wrapping this all the way back around, if this was staged, it was a very poorly staged event because it made everybody look like a
Idiots?
real idiot.
Yeah.
So, and all it does is actually damage the perception of the type of person Jagmeet is off camera. So that could turn to be a problem later on. Pierre was also asked about this, and his response was, I'll let other people make that judgment. And again, that was a beautiful answer. Don't engage with it. It's not up to him to judge it. And, he's just going to leave that alone. So there you go. 49-second video. We gave it the Northern perspective treatment, and we're over 20 minutes at this point. So hope you learned a little bit more about Parliament, and also double check what you hear, what you see on the internet, and things are not always as they appear, and they're not always as you're told they are. So keep asking those questions, try and fact check where you can, and stay safe out there.